सहकारी नंतर निवडून पण येऊ शकत नाही, एवढे शिवसैनिक अतिशय कष्ट घेतात आणि पराभूत करण्याच्या करता जीवाचं रान करतात, असा अनुभव मागचा आहे।
एक सवाल ये है कि जिस तरह से शिवसेना के विधायक अभी तक जा रहे हैं दादा भूसे भी ऐसा खबर है।
It's a game of Maha power play, with Shinde Sena's shadow looming large. Can Uddhav save his Sena?
शिव सेनेचे पक्षप्रमुख महाराष्ट्र राज्याचे मुख्यमंत्री
Is Uddhav now ready to make the supreme sacrifice?
उद्धव ठाकरे मुख्यमंत्री पदावरती नकोत, तर मी आता मुख्यमंत्री पदाचा राजीनामा द्यायला तयार आहे।
Is Uddhav ready to give up power for the party?
ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या होगी, महाराष्ट्र की सत्ता जाएगी, सत्ता वापस आ सकती।
Is Uddhav ready to sacrifice the Aghadi?
सरकारमधून महाविकास आघाडीतून शिवसेना बाहेर पडायला तयार आहे।
Will Uddhav quit his alliance with NCP and the Congress? Pawar asks his men to get ready to struggle. Congress huddles to strategize. Uddhav ready to give in to Shinde's one big demand and leave the Mahavikas Aghadi. Top focus on to the point. Will it be party over power for Uddhav Thackeray? Warm welcome viewers. Top focus there. You heard the NCP, which says that we are going to be with the Shiv Sena. But is the Shiv Sena now in two minds? Is it ready to give up power to save the party? Ready to ditch the Mahavikas Aghadi as Eknath Shinde, who has the numbers, demand? News break coming in right now on the inside scoop on the Maharashtra Congress meet. The Congress to adopt a wait-and-watch policy. Congress to stay with the Mahavikas Aghadi till Sena makes an official statement. The Congress not mulling to leave the Mahavikas Aghadi at this particular moment. This comes shortly after the NCP huddle, where Pawar said it will not walk out of MVA till Uddhav resigns. Pawar has also said that the rebels will have to pay a price. Listen in to Preeti Choudhry after the Congress's huddle.
आता सांगायची संधी मिळाली म्हणून आम्ही सत्तेत गेलो, पण नाहीतर आमचा जनादेश हा विरोधी बाकावर बसण्याचाच होता। त्यामुळे आता काही तयारी करायची काही प्रश्न नाही। जर तशी परिस्थिती निर्माण झाली तर आम्ही विरोधात बसणारच आहोत।
आमदारांची एक अशी खतखत आहे की महाविकास आघाडीमध्ये शिवसेनेचं नुकसान झालंय, काँग्रेस आणि राष्ट्रवादीचा मोठा फायदा झाला।
आता तो शिवसेनेच्या आमदारांनी घ्यायचा निर्णय आहे, मी काय त्यावर बोलणार।
ऐसा चित्र बन रहा है कि 2 दिन तक कांग्रेस और एनसीपी कोई प्रयत्न नहीं कर रहे थे, लेकिन जैसे ही एमपी से बाहर जाने के बाद संजय राउत ने की है तो थोड़े से प्रोएक्टिव हो गए। एनसीपी के लोग भी और कांग्रेस के लोग भी अब बात करना शुरू करें इस बारे में हम सरकार के साथ खड़े हैं।
बिल्कुल गलत बात है, बिल्कुल सरासर गलत बात है। ये हम रोज मिलकर मुख्यमंत्री को बता रहे हैं कि आप गंभीरता से जो भी निर्णय आप लेंगे हम आपके साथ हैं। ये बाहर पड़ने की बात क्या है, जब बाहर पड़ेगा तो सरकार खत्म हो जाएगी अपने आप। इसका मतलब वो अगर बीजेपी के साथ जाना चाहते हैं तो उनका निर्णय है, हम उनके हाथ थोड़ी पकड़ सकते हैं।
भाजपकडनंही हालचालींना वेग आलेला आहे। देवेंद्र फडणवीस दिल्लीला गेलेले आहेत। आतापर्यंत शांतता जी बघायला मिळत होती, आता काही पावलं टाकली जात आहेत असं वाटतं का? आणि त्या बाबतीत काय?
आता हे सगळं जे ऑपरेशन सुरू झालेलं आहे ते देवेंद्रजी दिल्लीला घेऊन तिथनं आदेश घेऊन आलेत आणि सुरू झालेलं आहे। हे सगळे सूत्रधार हे कोण आहे, ते दिल्लीतून सगळे ऑपरेशन चाललेलं आहे। आणि हे बीएमसीच्या निवडणुकीच्या पूर्वी होणाराचा आम्हाला अंदाज होता, तशाप्रमाणे ते घडतंय। त्यामध्ये काही फार आश्चर्य वाटायचं काही कारण नाही। बीएमसीची निवडणूक भाजपकरता फार महत्त्वाची आहे, महाराष्ट्राच्या राजकारणाकरता फार महत्त्वाची आहे। आणि त्या पार्श्वभूमीवर आज बीजेपीची धडपड चाललेली आहे। सगळ्या एजन्सीचा वापर केला जातोय, धमक्या दिल्या जात आहेत, काही आमदारांना मारल्याची चित्र आपण पाहिलेली आहेत। त्यामुळे मला वाटत नाही की सर्वच्या सर्व गुवाहाटीमधले आमदार स्वेच्छेने तिथे गेलेले आहेत, त्यातले बरेचसे त्यांच्या इच्छेविरुद्ध तिथं आलेले आहेत। म्हणूनच मला वाटतं एका नेत्यांनी शिवसेनेचं सांगितलं की तुम्ही परत या आणि मग आमच्याशी थेट बोला, तसं कोणी यायला तयार नाही आहे। यामध्ये बरंच काही आहे।
सरकार को बाहर से भी समर्थन दे सकती है बीजेपी को।
तो देखिए उनके प्रस्ताव तो उनकी तरफ से आने दीजिए ना, ये हम क्यों अटकलें लगा रहे हैं?
चौहान साहब, बीएमसी चुनाव से इस अस्थिरता का संबंध आप किस तरीके से देखते हैं?
बिल्कुल बीएमसी चुनाव से ही इसका ये संबंध है। बीएमसी चुनाव के पहले भाजपा बीएमसी में सत्ता हटाना चाहती है, शिवसेना को दूर करना चाहती है, और इसीलिए ये सारा षड्यंत्र ईडी वगैरह को सब एजेंसी को हाथ में लेकर बहुत पैसे का इस्तेमाल करके सब ऑपरेशन हुआ है, साफ दिख रहा है। थैंक यू।
All right, viewers, you just heard Prithvi Raj Chavan. It's interesting because even Prithvi Raj Chavan says that if Uddhav Thackeray wants to go with the BJP, if the Shiv Sena wants to ally again with the BJP, they cannot stop the Shiv Sena. But the Congress is firmly behind Shiv Sena until Uddhav resigns. The Mahavikas Aghadi viewers, at least the allies where they are concerned, the NCP and the Congress publicly saying we are behind Uddhav Thackeray till he steps down. Or even then, that's what even Sharad Pawar had said, that you fight till the finish. But what we heard from Sanjay Raut earlier, viewers, that's interesting because Sanjay Raut had said this afternoon that we are even open to the demand of Eknath Shinde that we step out of the Mahavikas Aghadi. So what is it going to be? Is the Sena ready to possibly give up power for the party? Let's cut across to our my two colleagues, Vidya joining us as well as Moshmi getting us the Congress perspective, Vidya getting us the Shiv Sena perspective. You know, Moshmi, we just heard Prithvi Raj Chavan there. He's saying we cannot tie Uddhav Thackeray's hand if he wants to ally with the BJP again. But till he steps down, we are firmly behind Uddhav Thackeray. What's going on inside the Congress right now?
So in fact, Preeti, it seems like the NCP and the Congress, the allies of the Shiv Sena, many call it unnatural allies, but they are towing the same line. And the Congress, you know, the diktat actually came from Delhi when Mallikarjun Kharge in a presser clearly defined the contours of what the Congress leaders in Mumbai had to discuss and deliberate and therefore speak to the media. So clearly, yesterday a direction was given that nobody will actually go out and speak to media, but by the evening they really felt it important to clear the air since you know, the ball was falling in the NCP and Congress's court with the Shiv Sena rebel MPs pinning down the blame on the alliance. So here really Congress will be waiting and watching and the developments closely, even as it says that it is a part of the MVA till it really falls.
You know, stay with me, Moshmi. Let's cut across right now to Vidya, who's getting us the perspective of the Shiv Sena. Vidya, you know, what was interesting is I'm going to take three reactions. Let's start with what Sanjay Raut said yesterday morning. Satta jati hai to jaye, party sabse zyada important hai. In the evening, Uddhav Thackeray said, I never wanted to be CM. But what's most important is, Vidya, what Sanjay Raut said this afternoon, which he said we are even open to what Eknath Shinde wants, that we step out of the Mahavikas Aghadi alliance. What's going on with the Sena? Is there actually contemplation to put the party over power, to actually cede into the demands of Eknath Shinde?
It's just planning to become a, and that's one of the reasons why, you know, and the Shiv Sena had really happened in the first place.
And the Shiv Sena had really happened in the first place. Now, after this entire, the entire rebellion that has really happened, it is now, after all, more than 24 hours that we are actually seeing a lot of Shiv Senics, and it's not just the MLAs or Sanjay Raut, but also the party workers, you know, the office bearers of Shiv Sena who are actually going in right now. There are a lot of Shaka Pramukhs, Prabharis, all these people are actually going in right now for a meeting that's going to be held anytime now after 7, and the meeting will basically determine a couple of things. One, obviously, what to do with what's happening in Guwahati. Apart from that, what they also have to do is look at what's going to be affected because of what's happening in Guwahati. Remember, there's BMC elections, and with Eknath Shinde doing what he's doing, Thane is almost out of the hands of Shiv Sena, is what they believe. And municipal elections across Maharashtra are going to happen anytime now, in a couple of months. So certainly that is of importance also to the party right now. While trying to get those people back into the party fold, they're also trying to ensure that the ranks of Shiv Sena stay together, so that if the MLAs do anything untoward, the ranks in Shiv Sena will try to see to it that whenever they come back, they are dealt with properly.
You know, Vidya, stay with me. Let's just go full frame with these visuals that are coming in, and these visuals are of support coming in for Eknath Shinde. These are visuals, viewers, that are filtering in from Thane. Eknath Shinde is the undisputed political king, if one might say, where Thane is concerned. Let's, not just Thane. He's a mass leader, enjoys a huge base where Thane is concerned, and Thane is a huge suburban area of Mumbai. On the other hand, not just Thane, viewers, also Kalyan. Eknath Shinde's son is an MP from Kalyan. These two are very influential areas when it comes to especially BMC elections. So understandably, what Vidya was saying, holds credence. Right now, there is a huddle going on where Uddhav Thackeray's residence, Matoshree, is concerned. Let's see what comes out of that. But joining me right now, before we cut across to our panelists this evening, is Ramdas Athawale. He is in alliance with the BJP, where Maharashtra is concerned, leader of the Republican Party of India. Mr. अठावले, बहुत शुक्रिया सर, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कि आप हमारे से जुड़े. मेरा पहला सवाल अठावले जी यही है, जो अब डेवलपमेंट्स आप देख रहे हैं, कैसे देखते हैं? लगता है एकनाथ शिंदे के पास तो पूरा नंबर है अभी, 37 जो एंटी डिफेक्शन लॉ को भी बक करता है, उसके ऊपर है, 42 का आंकड़ा बता रहे हैं.
अभी ऐसा है कि शिवसेना की हालत बहुत बड़ी खतरनाक हो गई है और एकनाथ शिंदे जी ने बहुत बड़ा झटका शिवसेना को दे दिया है. मैं लगातार बोलता रहा था कि भाई बीजेपी शिवसेना ने आरपीआई ने एक साथ रहकर ही सरकार स्थापित करनी चाहिए, लेकिन 19 में इन्होंने हमारा तो सुना नहीं. ये मतलब बीजेपी को छोड़कर, बीजेपी को तो धोखा देकर ये लोग कांग्रेस और एनसीपी के साथ चले गए. अभी एकनाथ शिंदे ने इनका खोखा कर दिया है और शिवसेना के 42 एमएलए तो अभी टूटे हैं और भी 4-5 एमएलए टूटने की संभावना है. बहुत सारे एमएलए में काफी नाराजगी थी और इसीलिए मुझे लगता है कि मैंने 2.5 साल के फॉर्मूले पर भी मैंने बोला था कि भाई अभी 2.5 साल पूरे हो रहे हैं, आप सत्ता में मतलब मुख्यमंत्री पद देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को दे दीजिए, लेकिन ये सुनने के लिए तैयार नहीं थे. तो अभी तो मतलब उनकी हालत बहुत बड़ी बुरी हो गई है शिवसेना की और एकनाथ शिंदे ने मतलब एक जो बंड नहीं है उसको महाबंड बोलना चाहिए, उन्होंने महाबंड किया है और शिवसेना को सत्ता से बाहर करने का काम एकनाथ शिंदे ने किया है.
अठावले जी, देखिए, अगर उद्धव ठाकरे क्विट नहीं करते हैं, अगर वो पद नहीं छोड़ते हैं तो क्या? क्योंकि उन्होंने अभी जो अपना रेजिग्नेशन है वैसे तो राज्यपाल को दिया जाता है, उन्होंने तो अपना रेजिग्नेशन सीधा जाकर जो रेबेल एमएलएज हैं, जो बागी एमएलएज हैं, गुवाहाटी में बैठे हैं, उनको दे दिया है.
नहीं, अगर वो इस्तीफा नहीं देंगे तो अभी हाउस में जाकर हम मेजोरिटी दिखाएंगे और उनको मतलब माइनॉरिटी में आने के बाद इस्तीफा देना पड़ेगा. अभी ना भी दे, लेकिन जब हमारी मेजोरिटी की लिस्ट राज्यपाल जी के पास जाएगी और हमारे पास कम से कम 169 एमएलए की संख्या है हो रही है, जब पत्र राज्यपाल जी के पास जाएगा और उसके बाद जब हाउस में हम मेजोरिटी दिखाएंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली उद्धव ठाकरे जी को रिजाइन देना पड़ेगा और मेजोरिटी दिखाने के बाद देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को निमंत्रण देने का काम हो जाएगा.
अठावले साहब, एक चीज तो वाकई देखने की है, क्योंकि भाजपा बात नहीं कर रही है, कोई भी बात नहीं कर रहा है, कम से कम आप खुल के बोल रहे हैं कि आप मांगेंगे फ्लोर टेस्ट, आप भाजपा के साथ हैं. सर, बस एक और सवाल, मुझे पता है आपको जाना है, बस एक और सवाल ले लीजिएगा. अब ये जो बागी एमएलए हैं जो गुवाहाटी में बैठे हैं, सर, आएंगे कब? कोई आइडिया है, बातचीत हुई है आपकी? क्योंकि उनको मुंबई तो आना पड़ेगा ना फ्लोर टेस्ट देने, कब आएंगे? मतलब छुपे क्यों बैठे हैं?
हाँ तो मुंबई नहीं, मुंबई आएगी ना, छुपाने का क्या मतलब है? और भी एमएलए पर बढ़ाने हैं. शिवसेना के पास खाली 4-5 एमएलए रहेंगे, बाकी और भी 6-7 एमएलए इनके साथ आ सकते हैं और ये आएंगे. मुंबई तो आएंगे, वहाँ क्या रहने के लिए तो थोड़ा ही गए, अपने सभी एमएलए को संभालने के लिए उधर गए हैं और उधर की आसाम की हवा खाकर, अभी गुजरात की हवा खाने के बाद वो मुंबई की हवा खाने के लिए आएंगे. बदली हुई हवा जो है, बदली हुई हवा देखने के लिए वो इधर आएंगे. वो 2-4 दिन के अंदर इधर आएंगे, आसाम देखकर आएंगे.
अठावले साहब बहुत शुक्रिया सर, आपने ये 3 सवालों के लिए वक्त निकाला, मुझे पता है आपको कहीं पे जाना है, बहुत शुक्रिया। Ramdas Athavale there speaking candidly. Very few have the kind of candor that Ramdas Athavale has. He says, we are just waiting and we are going to go now to the governor and ask for a floor test. I want to cut across to our panelists this evening, viewers, and the question that we are going to moot is, Uddhav Thackeray ready to give up on power for his party? Will he now cede into the demand of Eknath Shinde? Because the biggest demand right now is that he leave the Mahavikas Aghadi. And that indication, was it posturing, was it an indication, was given by Sanjay Raut this afternoon, where he said that they are even willing to give in to the demand of leaving the Mahavikas Aghadi, the parties first, but the rebel MLAs need to come back. Introducing our panelists this evening, Smita Prakash, editor ANI, PK Nambiar, political analyst, Praveen Kunte, leader NCP, Krishna Hegde, spokesperson, Shiv Sena. I would begin, with the permission of our panelist, with Mr. Hegde. Sir, is the Shiv Sena actually contemplating leaving the Mahavikas Aghadi? I know it's a, it's a difficult question right now. How much was it posturing with what Mr. Sanjay Raut said this afternoon?
One of the demands of Eknath Shinde ji was that we leave the Mahavikas Aghadi. And as a counter to that, Sanjay Raut ji,
I said, yes, we are okay to leave it, but the ultimate authority for all these things, for
to be made, is Uddhav Sahib Thackeray ji. He is the ultimate leader of the party, and whatever he decides, the entire cadre.
Sir, there's a problem with your audio-video link. Will you fix, sir? Can we fix your audio-video link? Because, we're having a bit of a problem with it. We'll come right back, just fixing your audio-video link. I want to cut across, meanwhile, to Smita Prakash, editor ANI. Ms. Prakash, how do you read the tea leaves as they are coming together where Maharashtra is concerned? Sanjay Raut posturing, try to luring in the MLAs from Guwahati to Mumbai, or serious intent that we are ready to put the party first, power comes later?
Yeah, this seems to be desperation and I think a sense of dejection even in the Aghadi. But there's a difference in the manner of expression. As you said, Sanjay Raut seemed like excitable. He was making wild claims, asking them to come back and things. But at the same time, an emotional appeal. I mean, yesterday, Facebook Live that you saw of Uddhav Thackeray, that was also an emotional appeal. Shinde's camp not falling for that. In fact, going a step ahead, not just not falling for that, they were trying to bring in, and they have brought in one person who was sent in as an emissary. On the other hand, a more stoic and more reserved statement coming in from the NCP and the Congress. Congress, of course, has to say wait and watch because they really can't do anything other than wait and watch. As far as the NCP is concerned, look at the difference. And the Congress, notice that the Congress went a little aggressive in saying that it's the BJP hand. Whereas the NCP, Ajit Pawar saying that it's strange, I found it very odd that the NCP turns around and says not yet seen any BJP hand in it. This is what Ajit Pawar said. Ajit Pawar, remember, owes something to the BJP in the past. So probably that's why he's not willing to go all aggressive, because there were rumors that the NCP is even willing to, at any point of time, maybe think of again combining, or as part of the NCP talking that maybe we can pitch in and ask the BJP to support us. So all kinds of permutations and combinations being discussed in the corridors of power or corridors of journalism in Mumbai, I think, right now, Preeti.
Mr. Nambiar, how do you look at the situation developing right now? Because till now, it's, at least till this morning, it seemed that the Mahavikas Aghadi, no matter how uneasy the alliance was, seemed to be coming together a lot better than one would have expected in this deepest forms of political crisis. But would you think, with what Mr. Sanjay Raut had said, that would possibly queer that pitch?
Well, Mr. Sanjay Raut is a water cannon. So I will say that during the Iraq war, if you remember the chemical Ali, so it's basically he comes up every day morning and make a news, and the news bite for the whole evening. But that's over. So the problem with the Shiv Sena is now it's very irreparable. Even if somehow, which is even not even a remote chance for all these rebel MLAs to come. Now, who is the rebel? That is a big question, because it seems that 42 MLAs out of the 55 is with one side. Now, the question is, who is the real genuine Shiv Sena? So, Uddhav Thackeray today, even if they come back, cannot have a leadership. He cannot claim that old legacy of his father, or the kind of the influence the Thackeray family had always in Shiv Sena. That's all over forever. I would rather say the old Shiv Sena of Balsaheb Thackeray is dead. Now, this is a new Shiv Sena. Now, the reason behind this is 2-3 things. One is the fundamental mistakes what Uddhav Thackeray did when he formed the government with his unholy alliance. Most of the Shiv Sainiks on the ground, in fact, during the election time, I was traveling all across Maharashtra. One thing I'll tell you, the Shiv Sainiks has always found BJP as their natural alliance. They always fought against the Congress and as well as NCP. And on the one fine day, despite his father announced once upon a time that nobody from his family will ever sit on the seat of a chief minister. They will never be contesting elections to become a chief minister, or for that matter, any other position. But on the other hand, what Uddhav Thackeray did, the first mistake is cutting the alliance with the BJP. Second mistake, becoming the chief minister. Third mistake is creating his son as the Yuvraj, who's also become an MLA and even a minister in the cabinet. And so most of the real workers of Shiv Sena, that is like Eknath Shinde or so many of those people, they really felt that, yeah, what is there for them? They are not even given an audience. And another thing is that great Balasaheb was always been against Congress and the Congress culture. And I don't know, you remember that once he even said in an interview, Congress is a cancer. Then imagine what happened. And all those parties which has got into alliance with Congress, whether it is any party anywhere, whether it is JDS, Samajwadi Party, all those parties who has got into an alliance with Congress has almost decimated one after another on the later part. But this is what really is happening. I think Uddhav's political career, according to me, is over. He is the Thackeray family has always been considered.
Mr. Nambiar, many would say in politics it's a little, one should avoid writing political obituaries.
That is true. I agree
but
with you.
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. And on the flip side of it all, many would suggest that, the new form of politics for the Shiv Sena was to pull away from the BJP, because look at the sorry state of the JDU today. Even if they want to move away from the BJP, they can't, because they know that half of the JDU will gravitate towards the BJP. But, I'm going to come right back, sir. Good point made. I want to cut across, if we have Krishna Hegde finally. All right, we have Mr. Hegde back. I'm going to quickly cut across to him. Mr. Hegde, my questions are earlier. How much of this posturing do you really have intent? Does the Shiv Sena actually believe that if the MLAs come back, you are willing to entertain that one crucial demand on which hankers the entire revolt, which is leave the Vikas Aghadi? Sir, I am so sorry. I think, sir, lucky kharaab hai, aapka audio hi nahi aa raha hai. I'm so sorry. We are having a problem with your audio. I want to quickly go into... That's true. I am really sorry, sir. We're going to again try and connect it. News break coming in. New video of Shinde Sena from Guwahati Hotel. Shinde Sena's big show of strength again. The national... Shinde says that the party has told me my decision is historic. They have ensured any help that we may need. What is the party that Shinde is talking about? We're going to... Let's listen in. Let's listen in to Eknath Shinde.
एक मतानं आमचे सर्व अधिकार जो निर्णय यायचा आहे तो सर्व एक मतानं आम्ही आमचे गटनेते एकनाथजी भाऊ शिंदे यांना देत आहोत. तुम्ही स्वीकारा नेतृत्व एक मिनिट थांबा.
एकच आहे, जे काय सुख दुःख आहे हे आपल्या सगळ्यांचं एक आहे, बरोबर. काही असेल तर आपण एकजुटीने किती काही येऊ द्या, आपलाच आहे, आपलाच आहे. मला तर तुम्ही जे म्हणालात ते नॅशनल पार्टी आहे, ते महाशक्ती आहे, ज्यांनी अख्ख्या पाकिस्तान म्हणजे काय परिस्थिती होती माहित नाही. तर याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी मला सांगितलेलं आहे तुम्ही जो हा निर्णय घेतलेला आहे हा देशातला
ऐतिहासिक
निर्णय आहे. त्याच्या मागे आमची पुरी शक्ती आहे. कुठेही काही लागलं तर कधीही कमी पडणार नाही याची प्रचिती आपल्याला जेव्हा जेव्हा आवश्यकता भासेल तेव्हा तेव्हा सगळ्यांना येईल.
सर्व आमदार एक मतानं आमचे सर्व अधिकार जो निर्णय घ्यायचा आहे.
Really interesting, viewers. I'm going to quickly. So this is a massive show of strength. You have Eknath Shinde, who has said, and I'll quote unquote, "A national party has termed my decision historic." We leave it for the better judgment of our viewers to decide what he meant by a national party, and we'll take that question to our panelists. But let's listen and dip into that audio once again.
सुख दुःख आहे हे आपल्या सगळ्यांचं एक आहे.
सर्व आमदार एक मतानं आमचे सर्व अधिकार जो निर्णय घ्यायचा आहे तो सर्व एक मतानं आम्ही आमचे गटनेते एकनाथजी भाऊ शिंदे यांना देत आहोत.
तुम्ही स्वीकारा नेतृत्व
एकच आहे. जे काय सुख दुःख आहे हे आपल्या सगळ्यांचं एक आहे. बरोबर. काही असेल तर आपण एकजुटीने किती काही येऊ द्या हे आपलाच आहे. हे आपलाच आहे. मला तर तुम्ही जे म्हणालात ते नॅशनल पार्टी आहे, ते महाशक्ती आहे ज्यांनी अख्ख्या पाकिस्तान म्हणजे काय परिस्थिती होती माहित नाही. तर याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी मला सांगितलेलं आहे तुम्ही जो हा निर्णय घेतलेला आहे हा देशातला
ऐतिहासिक
निर्णय आहे. त्याच्या मागे आमची पुरी शक्ती आहे. कुठेही काही लागलं तर कधीही कमी पडणार नाही याची प्रचिती आपल्याला जेव्हा जेव्हा आवश्यकता भासेल तेव्हा तेव्हा सगळ्यांना येईल.
सर्व आमदार एक मत.
Smita Prakash, a national party has lauded our decision. As the numbers are mounting in Guwahati, so is the confidence of Mr. Eknath Shinde. Till yesterday, he said he had nothing to do with a national party. But now he says that a national party has called him and lauded his decision. Interesting, how things are developing right now in Guwahati.
Yeah, true, Preeti. And also look at the body language, right? Look at the grouping out there. Now, Shinde, what he has to do, he's like a motivational speaker. He has to get keep the motivation high among these people who he has gathered out here. They have left their families. And remember, this is the Shiv Sena. They have left their families behind in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, and they have come here. They have got security, but their families back home, they have left there. So they are worried about that too. They can't stay away for so long. Now he has to keep the jazba alive in that. So there is this. And then you look at the body language that is happening back in Mumbai. There's this nirash, hatash look of people who are coming out of that group. Look at see the difference. And, of course, what Shinde said right now is this, that there is a big hand, there is a big party which is saying, well done. Of course, it's an open secret, right? You don't, at least till today, nobody was mentioning the BJP, but it is the elephant in the room. You have to address it. There was no way that Shinde, a sole person, could have got all this logistics going if it had not been for this big power which was supporting. Where was it going to be, right? How was a sole person supposed to get these 40 people? Look at the visuals that you are playing on the side. How was he supposed to get all these people to Surat, from Surat fly them to Guwahati? Had it not been for the fantastic logistical power of this superpower in Indian politics, had it not been their support. And also now, of course, everybody knows that Fadnavis is on his way or has already arrived in Delhi. Now it remains to be seen when he comes out in the open. So in dribbles, I think Shinde is making it clear that who the power is behind this and giving, I think, some kind of assurance to people who are coming. He needs a couple of more numbers, right? So if he makes it clear who the persons are who are supporting him, then he will probably get more people. And once he gets another 3-4, I think the writing is on the wall, if not now already, that it's he who has the real Shiv Sena behind him. And Uddhav cutting a very sorry figure, going almost into single digits now. despite Pawar and the Congress backing him. Today, you're not even seeing the Kamal Naths. There's no Rahul Gandhi. There's no Priyanka Gandhi. Nobody from the Congress bigwigs. Earlier, he had said yesterday in Facebook Live that he never wanted to be chief minister. The reason he became chief minister is because Sharad Pawar and Sonia Gandhi said it. Now, Pawar is the only one who's there. From the Congress party, it is Kamal Nath who's there, but nobody else. Of course, none of the top wigs, because Ghulam Nabi Azad has COVID. As far as the others are concerned, the top guns of the Congress party are more concerned about staging protests, about Rahul Gandhi being questioned at ED. So Congress busy in its own problems, not really able to give him the support that Uddhav needs right now in Mumbai.
Well, nothing boosts spirits and body language more than the sheer smell of victory. And I am sure the BJP, along with Eknath Shinde, can actually smell it in kissing distance of what they feel is forming a government in Maharashtra. Where the MLAs are concerned, and I'll bring in Mr. Nambiar into this conversation, usually political history stands testimony, Mr. Nambiar, that MLAs gravitate towards the side which is standing at the precipice of forming government. And that is what we are seeing, how the numbers, because, be it all the posturing that I have the numbers, eventually Mr. Eknath Shinde has inched towards having those numbers now.
Absolutely. I think the number, it's all very, as far as the number game is over, the counting, that is over, because it's very clear now that Eknath Shinde is the real Shiv Sena, and Thackerays have lost it. And most importantly, Preeti, if you really look at it, Shiv Sena is one of the very few cadre parties in this country. That's the way they have been built. Shiv Sena has got almost in even trade unions. Even if you go to the Mumbai, in most of the industries in Mumbai, Shiv Sena has got even a trade unions which are very strong. But have you seen any kind of anti-sloganeering or an activity against these MLAs any places across Maharashtra? No. At least I have not seen in any of the channels in the last 5 days which I am participating. Second, you also need to, that means there is, even in the ground, the real Shiv Sainiks were very unhappy with this unholy alliance which he got into it. And as a cadre party, the beauty of cadre party is that the leaders at the top is always accessible. Both the father and son, they were never available for these leaders. So there was so much of a dissatisfaction which was growing.
Okay.
And the most important thing, Preeti, is that despite he is the chief minister, he could not even understand such a big rebellion is taking place in his party. That clearly shows his lack of leadership quality.
Okay. What I'm going to do is, Mr. Nambiar, I'm coming in because we are inching closer to a break. I'm going to be right back in 3 minutes. Hopefully, we'll have our NCP leader and our Shiv Sena spokesperson back on the other side. We've been able to build contact with them. Quick break. Stay with us. Back soon.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171.
This industry, this place, the competition, the people, the world, every day there's something that can demotivate you. Every day there's something that can suck the life out of you. Every day there's something that makes me think, यार ये भी कैसे झेलूं, ये भी कैसे लूं, इतनी कैसे फाइट हो सकती है ये. एंड मुझे तो शॉकिंग बस कभी कभार ये लगता है कि ऐसा कैसे है कि किसी और के लिए इतनी आसानी से सब हो जाता है और किसी के लिए इतनी मुश्किल होती है. that extreme of that scale for me is just it's unbelievable. You have to be part of the system to bring about any change in the system. If you get out of the system, you anyway don't stand a chance. So you can't give up the game just because it's demotivating every day and something pulls you down. You got to be there na, to get back up there. उधर होगे नहीं तो उठोगे क्या मतलब.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
All right, viewers, we continue to get you the latest news breaks that are coming in. Till now, what we have seen is a smokes and mirrors game. Everybody quite knew that somewhere down the line, the BJP is going to play a role. But nobody really spoke about it. None of the BJP leaders ever came on any television debates or made any statements. It'd been burnt before. Everybody had seen Operation Lotus fail the first time around, where Maharashtra was concerned. This time around, it wasn't instigated by the BJP, it's an insider. But now, will the BJP kick in? Because victory in terms of what Devendra Fadnavis thought was power snatched away from him, where the mandate belonged to none else but the Sena and the BJP combined. Well, is he inching closer to winning that place back for himself? Well, one of the reasons one can say that's happening very clearly is this massive show of strength that you see by Eknath Shinde. And importantly, till yesterday, what was Eknath Shinde saying? Viewers, every time I spoke to him yesterday in the afternoon on the phone line, whenever I asked him about the BJP, he vehemently denied anything to do with the BJP. But today, we leave it for the better judgment of our guests and our panelists to decide what does he mean by a nationalist party. Listen into that statement. We are back with Smita Prakash and Mr. Nambiar.
काही लागलं तर कधी कमी पडणार नाही याची प्रचिती आपल्याला जेव्हा जेव्हा आवश्यकता भासेल तेव्हा तेव्हा सगळ्यांना येईल.
सर्व आमदार एकमतानं आमचे सर्व अधिकार जो निर्णय यायचा आहे तो सर्व एकमतानं आम्ही आमचे गटनेते एकनाथजी भाऊ शिंदे यांना देत आहोत.
तुम्ही स्वीकारा नेतृत्व
एकच आहे, जे काय सुख दुःख आहे हे आपल्या सगळ्यांचं एक आहे, बरोबर. काही असेल तर आपण एकजुटीने किती काही येऊ द्या, हे आपलाच आहे, हे आपलाच आहे. मला तर तुम्ही जे म्हणालात ते नॅशनल पार्टी आहे, ते महाशक्ती आहे, ज्यांनी अख्ख्या पाकिस्तान म्हणजे काय परिस्थिती होती माहित नाही. तर याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी मला सांगितलेलं आहे, तुम्ही जो हा निर्णय घेतलेला आहे हा देशातला ऐतिहासिक निर्णय आहे. त्याच्या मागे आमची पुरी शक्ती आहे. कुठेही काही लागलं तर कधीही कमी पडणार नाही याची प्रचिती आपल्याला जेव्हा जेव्हा आवश्यकता भासेल तेव्हा तेव्हा सगळ्यांना येईल.
सर्व आमदार.
Viewers, despite the fact that when these MLAs or some of these MLAs to begin with Mr. Shinde were in Surat, that BJP Maharashtra leader Mr. Sanjay Kutte was with them, or the fact that the Assam Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sarma was inspecting the resort the morning that they checked in Guwahati. All of that aside, you'd asked a BJP leader that what was going on in Maharashtra, they'd jump and say, we have no idea. It's the internal matter of the Shiv Sena. Smita Prakash, is it still the internal matter of the Shiv Sena? Would you want to comment on the nationalist party that has been mentioned here?
Look, if you think about it, if you honestly think about it, what is the internal matter of the Shiv Sena? The Shiv Sena's natural ally has always been the BJP. So, those who Shinde is sitting in front of, the visuals that you're playing, the people who are sitting in front of him, why have they come with Shinde? The reason they've come with Shinde is not because he's the sole leader who's going to, like a Noah's Ark, who's going to take them across. No, it's not just that. They want that assurance that it's that natural marriage which they went in before the elections, that alliance is going to remain. That's the reason why, because the Agadi was an unnatural alliance. All through they knew it, right? But they were hoping that, that this was this one chance of their own man, Mr. Thackeray, becoming the chief minister. So they were conflicted in that. But as the earlier analyst said, that they are a Shakha-based party. There is no way that this rebellion would have rested easy on any of them. Because to go against a Thackeray is to go against the grain of a Shiv Sainik. In spite of that, they have gone like this. But they're not ready to jump the ship and go to the BJP. They are still not ready to do that. Such is the loyalty that a Shiv Sainik has towards his flag, towards his ideology or her ideology. They are not willing to do that. They're not willing to jump ship, but they want that natural ally with them. So I think Shinde has waited till now, and now it's kind of obvious when you're talking about 1 or 2 is all that they have to do before they stake the claim. Right now, they're doing it in front of the media, the social media and the traditional media. Once this is done, it's a matter of time, I think a matter of a couple of days before they stake it in the floor of the house. They would still, I think, rather that Uddhav agrees. The natural tendency is not to cause a vertical split in this party. The Shiv Sainiks would not like to do that. Not even these rebels who are sitting out there. The ideal situation would be if Uddhav was to step down, agree for Shinde to do it. He would still have the rutba of being part of the Shiv Sena. But if he refuses to do that, if he is still egged on by a Pawar and by the remnants of the Congress party in the Agadi to keep on fighting, then what you're going to see is a vertical split. And you're going to see an Uddhav Sena and a Shinde Sena, not something which is going to rest easy on those who are with Uddhav. I think Uddhav is going to be advised by his party to step aside, still be a Thackeray. After all, look at Bal Thackeray. He stayed back, right? He was the power center in the Shiv Sena, but never, and not just in the Shiv Sena, in Maharashtra politics. He was the power center regardless of which party came to power. But he was there. Matoshree was everything. So Uddhav can continue to do that. He can continue that legacy of the Thackeray family and not take office. It remains to be seen whether Aditya will accept that.
Right. But, Smita Thackeray, we talk about, Smita Prakash, I beg your pardon, when you talk about the fact that the natural alliance was with the Bharatiya Janata Party, the fact is the natural alliance was eating the party up is what Uddhav Thackeray also realized, that he broke that alliance. Because, if one was to go by, the BJP, the Shiv Sena had already ceded so much space to the BJP. This was the only way to keep the party alive, is what, many in the Shiv Sena said.
I disagree, I think he got taken in by some degree of self-importance, though that is not Uddhav's style, but, maybe pumped up because he has always been in the shadows, right? First in the shadows of his father, this banyan tree under which nothing really grows. First under the shadow of Bal Thackeray, you tend to get, any important, hugely important male figure in the family, the sons have this thing that they have to live up to. So Uddhav first had that, and after that, comparison with his cousin, with Raj Thackeray, because he's not that firebrand leader. He doesn't have that same sway which his cousin has, Raj has. So when he was pumped up to say that you have to take on that mantle, you are the savior of the Shiv Sena, he took it upon himself, but he doesn't have it in him. His health prevented it. He did fight the COVID war very successfully, but he just doesn't have it in him. Yet, he can be that father figure which his father was, may not be as powerful and as imposing a figure as Bal Thackeray, but he can. He still can. And I think the Shiv Sena, even the rebellious faction, will
Mr. Nambiar, I'll take a quick comment.
If he stays.
I want to go into a break, but Mr. Nambiar, I'm going to bring you in for a very quick comment. With what Ms. Prakash said, the fact is, can at this point of time, Uddhav Thackeray fall back into the role of a Bal Thackeray? Because, you're talking about a tiger whose teeth have been knocked out completely. Because, with this particular rebellion. This is a documentary, a testimony on the leadership of Uddhav Thackeray and the career, political career of his son, Aditya Thackeray. Would he go back into taking that role in the shadows?
It's too late. I mean, it's too late. He got completely exposed within the party. So if you really recall the great Thackeray, I mean, the Balasaheb had never exposed himself, whether it is his administrative acumen or anything. He stood by his ideology. Another mistake that Uddhav did is that diluting the very ideology of Shiv Sena, that is this Hindutva. So Bal Thackeray has always made the Shiv Sena as the main Hindutva party, even much ahead of the BJP. Remember the Ram Janmabhoomi movement and etc. But what Uddhav did, he made secular Hindutva just to please his NCP and the Congress. So idea is that Shiv Sena.
Mr. Nambiar, I'm going to cut you short, and I appreciate both our guests for joining us. The reason I'm doing it is we are cutting across to Sharad Pawar, who's holding a next press conference. It's interesting. About an hour ago, his nephew held a press conference. Is there something more that the NCP has to say? Because his nephew, Mr. Ajit Pawar, held a press conference an hour ago and said that we are right behind the Shiv Sena. What has prompted in 1 hour that Sharad Pawar is going to come out and address the press again? Listen.
पवार सर सांगू शकाल की जे नाट्य सुरू आहे महाविकास आघाडी स्थापन करण्यात आपण महत्त्वाची भूमिका बजावली, पण आता जे बंड आलंय त्यामुळे वाटतंय का की सरकार धोक्यात आलेलं आहे आणि 2.5 वर्षातच महाविकास आघाडीचा जो प्रयोग आहे तो फसला आहे?
आता 2.5 वर्ष महाविकास आघाडीने उत्तम कारभार केला, अनेक महत्त्वाचे निर्णय घेतले. कोरोनासारखं एक राष्ट्रीय संकट असताना त्या संकटावर मात करण्याच्यासाठी आरोग्य खात्याने उत्तम काम केलं. हे सगळं बघितल्याच्या नंतर हा प्रयोग फसला आहे असं म्हणणं याचा अर्थ राजकीय अज्ञान आहे.
सर, ज्याप्रमाणे संख्याचं बळ पाहता आता महाविकास आघाडी सरकार अडचणीत आहे, कारण संख्या त्यांच्याकडे जास्त आहे. महाविकास आघाडी अडचणीत आहे हे तर मान्य करता?
अडचण असं आहे, प्रसिद्धी माध्यमातून काही गोष्टी पुढे आल्या त्या काही नाकारण्याचं कारण नाही. पण ज्या वेळेला हे विधानसभेचे सभासद महाराष्ट्राच्या बाहेर गेले ते इथं आल्याच्या नंतर माझी खात्री आहे की ते ज्या पद्धतीनं त्याला नेलं गेलं त्याची वस्तुस्थिती हे लोकांना सांगतील आणि इथं आल्याच्या नंतर आपण अजूनही शिवसेनेच्या बरोबरच हे स्पष्ट करतील आणि बहुमत कोणाचं आहे हे सिद्ध होईल.
तुम्ही देखील अशा पद्धतीने परिस्थिती आधी हाताळली?
तुम्ही एक मगाशी प्रश्न विचारला,
पवार साहब जिस तरीके से शिवसेना के 50 विधायक क्लेम किए जा रहे हैं कि अब शिंदे गुट के साथ हो गए हैं और सरकार माइनॉरिटी में हो गई है और इस्तीफा देना चाहिए.
सरकार माइनॉरिटी में है या नहीं ये एस्टेब्लिश करने का रास्ता विधानसभा है. विधानसभा में जब फ्लोर टेस्ट हो जाएगी तो पता लगेगा कि ये सरकार मेजॉरिटी में है.
आपको लगता है कि जिस तरह से इतने विधायक मुख्यमंत्री उद्धव ठाकरे यांची भेट घेतली, काल ज्याप्रमाणे मुख्यमंत्री उद्धव ठाकरे यांची भेट घेतली आणि त्यांनी वर्षा सोडलं, त्याच्यानंतर हे वाटायला लागलं की कुठे ना कुठे सरकार मात्र मोठ्या प्रमाणात अडचणीत आहे. तरी आपण हे होप पकडत आहे की सरकार जे आहे ते अजूनही आपल्या संकटातून मात करू अशा प्रकारची भूमिका आपण मांडतो.
असं की तुमचा प्रश्न बरोबर आहे, पण अशी स्थिती याच्या पूर्वीने महाराष्ट्रात अनेकदा बघितली आणि त्याच्यातून माझं असेसमेंट असते की या परिस्थितीतून मात करून हे सरकार बहुमत सिद्ध करेल आणि उद्धव ठाकरे यांच्या नेतृत्वाखालचं सरकार चालू आहे हे संबंध देशाला कळेल.
सर, आप लड़ने की बात कर रहे हैं, आप लड़ने की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन संजय राउत कह रहे हैं कि हम एमबीए से बाहर निकल आएंगे अगर सारे विधायक वापस महाराष्ट्र लौटे.
बात ऐसी है कि जो लोग बाहर गए वहाँ के उनके नेता हैं, उनका कहना है कि वहाँ ये आघाड़ी में हम गए और वहाँ कांग्रेस राष्ट्रवादी इन पार्टी के खिलाफ हमारे मन में एक तरह की नाराज़गी है। ये बात उन्होंने कही, इसीलिए संजय राउत ने जवाब दिया, आपका यही कहना है तो यहाँ आके कहो, हमारे सामने कहो, और आवश्यकता हो तो हम बाहर फिरने के लिए भी तैयार हैं, मगर ये आसाम में बैठकर नहीं, ये यहाँ आकर कहने की उन्होंने स्थिति दिखानी चाहिए। और यही बात कल उद्धव ठाकरे जी ने बताई।
पवार साहब क्या गृह मंत्रालय का फेलियर मानते कि इतने सारे मंत्री, इतने सारे विधायक एक साथ निकल के सूरत चले जा रहे हैं, सरकार को या मिनिस्ट्री को इस बात की भनक नहीं लगी कि सूरत सारे 40-50 लोग साथ में जा रहे हैं?
नहीं, इसमें कोई किसी का फेलियर इसका असेसमेंट करने का आज टाइम नहीं, वो उचित समय पर करेंगे।
या मागं भाजप आहे असं वाटत नाही, या मागं भाजप आहे असं वाटत नाही असं अजित पवार आता म्हणाले।
असे अजित पवारांनी महाराष्ट्राची मुंबईची स्थिती आहे ते पाहून त्यांनी हे विधान केलेलं असावं। इथं प्रत्यक्ष लोक हलवणं आणि हे ऑपरेशन करणं, याच्यामध्ये आज श्री एकनाथ शिंदे आणि त्यांचे सहकारी दिसतात, पण अजित पवारांना इतकी स्थानिक माहिती जरूर आहे, परंतु गुजरात आणि आसाम इथली परिस्थिती आम्हा लोकांना अधिक माहिती, राज्याच्या बाहेरची। आणि याला एकच उदाहरण मी सांगू इच्छितो की आता मी टेलिव्हिजनवर एकनाथ शिंदे यांचं एक इंटरव्ह्यू पाहिला आणि त्याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी असं स्टेटमेंट केलं आहे की आम्हाला एका राष्ट्रीय पक्षाचा पाठिंबा आहे, एका राष्ट्रीय पक्षाचा। माझ्याकडे देशातल्या सगळ्या पक्षांची यादी आहे आणि या यादीमध्ये देशामध्ये राष्ट्रीय पक्ष कोण? एक भाजप, दोन मायावती, तीन कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी CPI, चार CPM, पाच इंडियन नॅशनल काँग्रेस सोनिया गांधी आणि सहा राष्ट्रवादी काँग्रेस पार्टी। ही सहा अधिकृत इलेक्शन कमिशननी प्रसिद्ध केलेली यादी आहे। आता तुम्हीच बघा की CPI, CPM, काँग्रेस या सगळ्या राष्ट्रवादी या सगळ्यांच्या ह्याच्यात हात आहे का? याचा कोणी याच्यात पाठिंबा देणार असेल का? मग जे नाही हे याचा तुम्ही विचार केला तर आहेच कोणही सांगण्याची गरज लागत दुसरी गोष्ट अशी आहे की सुरतला आणि आसामला जी व्यवस्था करणारे लोक आम्हाला दिसले ते अजित पवारांच्या परिचयाचे आहेत असं मला वाटत नाही, पण माझ्या परिचयाचे आहेत। उदाहरणार्थ सुरतला भारतीय जनता पार्टीचे राज्याचे अध्यक्ष शिव पाटील मराठी ग्रस्त आहेत, ते तिथले अध्यक्ष आहेत, ते पार्लमेंटचे मेंबर आहेत, संसदेमध्ये आम्हाला मिळतात, त्यांचा सहभाग असेल याचा अर्थ काय समजायचा? आणि दुसरी गोष्ट अशी की आसाममध्ये संवहन व्यवस्था ही करण्याच्या म्हणजे तिथलं राज्य सरकार अतिशय ॲक्टिव्ह आहे, तिथलं राज्य आज भारतीय जनता पार्टीच्या हातात आहे। त्यामुळं वस्तुस्थिती काही स्पष्ट होते, तिथं कोण आहे नाही हे सांगण्याची गरज नाही, नावं घेण्याची गरज नाही। इथं कुणी दिसत नाही, पण तिथं जे दिसत आहेत त्याच्यातून कोण आहे हे तुम्हाला लोकांना समजेल।
मागच्या वेळेस ज्याप्रमाणे चाणक्य नीतीने आपण भारतीय जनता पक्षाच्या राज्यातून आपले आमदार खिचून आणले होते, यावेळेस मात्र भारतीय जनता पक्षाच्याच याच्यामध्ये सत्तेच्या याच्यामध्ये आमदार आहेत. यावेळी ही फार मोठी अडचण वाटत आहे. त्यामुळे आपण अशा प्रकारचं भाष्य करताय की आपल्याला आपल्या बाजूने येतील आमदार.
असं त्यांना इथे यावं लागेल, इथे गव्हर्नरचं फुलचं यावं लागेल, ते विधानसभेचं यावं लागेल. तर विधानसभेच्या प्रांगणात आल्याच्या नंतर मला माहिती नाही की आसाम आणि गुजरातमध्ये भारतीय जनता पार्टीचे नेते इथे येऊन त्यांना मार्गदर्शन करू शकतात.
याला कोण जबाबदार आहे असं तुम्हाला वाटतं? कारण एक पत्र तिकडच्या आमदाराकडून जारी झालंय ज्याच्यामध्ये अनेक तक्रारी आहेत की निधी जो आहे तो फक्त राष्ट्रवादीच्या नेत्यांना मिळत होता असं सुद्धा त्यांनी म्हटलं.
ही वस्तुस्थिती नाही, हे असत्यावर आधारित श्लेषण केलेलं आहे आणि त्यांनी जो निकाल घेतलेला आहे तो निकाल अँटी डिफेक्शन कायद्याच्या विरुद्ध आहे आणि त्याचे परिणाम त्यांना भोगावे लागतील आणि त्याशिवाय त्यांच्या मतदारसंघात सुद्धा त्याची प्रतिक्रिया येईल आणि म्हणून हे उदाहरण त्यांनी दिलेलं आहे. यापेक्षा दुसरं काही नाही. मला आठवत आहे किंवा ज्यावेळेस छगन भुजबळ हे काँग्रेसमध्ये आले दुसऱ्या सेनेत आणि त्याच्यानंतर त्यांच्यावर एकंदर त्याची 12-16 लोक होते. निवडणुका झाल्या, निवडणुकीमध्ये एक सोडला तर बाकी सगळ्यांचा पराभव झाला. हा पूर्वीचा अनुभव हा महाराष्ट्राचा आहे आणि त्यामुळे ही स्थिती जे लोक आता आसामला गेलेले आहेत त्यांच्याबद्दल होण्याची शक्यता नाकारता येत नाही आणि त्यासाठी आपल्या मतदारांना काहीतरी सांगावं, काहीतरी निमित्त करावं म्हणून निधी किंवा तत्सम हा विषय या ठिकाणी काढला आहे. बाकी याला काही अर्थ नाही.
पवार साहब हिंदुत्व के मुद्दे को लेकर जिस तरीके से